Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back to a Ramble session. Yeah, so I thought I'd come on and just chit-chat with ya. I think I'm going to try to work on some pages. Today is the 9th, and I am back on the 6th. So, last month, when I was working in my Fibonacci, I think I showed you. Let me just grab it. For the month of November, I just did, this was a bed day, but but I just did like a central picture. I hope it's not glary or anything. And then just wrote, and I still need to finish up a few pages in this one. But that's life, So I've returned back to my colorful hot mess pages, and I'll tell you, I do love doing them. I enjoy this style a lot better. It's just more fun, but it is a lot more time consuming. So that's the reason why I am consistently behind in my Fibonacci. So let's see. This is the front of the book. This is from a calendar page that I just found at Dollar Tree and stuck that on there. And then let's see. The inside here, I always, put my pocket. These are all labels that I use to put up in my headers up on this section here. And they're all about gratefulness because, of course, we're in the month of November and it's the Thanksgiving month. So that's where I'm at here. What else has been going on? Oh, I got this lovely postcard. I hope it's not glary. I have to keep getting up and seeing. Yep, there's a glare. Okay. It's so pretty. Let's see if I can bring it up. Whoops, without a glare. Look how beautiful that is. It's of a canal with these little boats on it. I'm not sure what they're called. But anyway, I received this postcard, this sweet postcard from Allie on Dingley Delification. Of course, I'll link her below because I love her channel and I love her work. And she had commented on one of my pages because we do have a crocodile that lives in our canal down south. And, he swims around, he keeps to himself usually. And so she saw this postcard or had this postcard with it's from the Top Lock Stoke, I don't know how to say that, Grand Union Canal. And I just find these European canals so beautiful. And I don't know what these boats are called. Maybe Allie can tell me, but they're gorgeous. I mean, they're like pieces of artwork. Yeah, they're so beautiful. So I'm so thankful to her. She sent that in a happy mail with lots of other goodie bits. So thank you very much. And let's see. So I'm going to be working on these pages today. What else have I been? Oh, yesterday I did this little girl here, and she's called a swatch girl. And I got the idea from James Burke. He is a wonderful artist on YouTube here. Of course, I'll again link his channel below. And he started doing these originally because he likes to swatch his watercolors. And so instead of swatching them just in a rectangle, he swatches them on these beautiful little girls. So yeah, no shame involved. I copied exactly pretty much what he did. So, but it was really a lot of fun. And I'm seriously considering purchasing like a little watercolor book and just doing a whole book of swatch dolls. Even though I don't watercolor typically, let me see. The only watercolor palette that I have is this Winsor & Newton, basic palette. And let's see. I do have some other water soluble things. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll experiment. But I love them. And I'm going to put her on this day here that I just, I colored this page first. And what I did, I know you guys have seen this before, but let me see if I can get it. What I did was I took a sheet protector and I take my Distress Stains and I zhuzh them on here, and then I spritz it with a little bit of water, and then I just plop it down and smush it in. So that's a little tip for you if you want some color on your pages. Obviously, I'm not going to be, coloring in with my colored pencils on this page, but I do want to put her here to remind myself that I made this little doll on this day. They're super fun and they're super easy, and I really, appreciate the work that James does on his channel, and he's very easy to follow. He doesn't, well, no, actually there is a tutorial. I'll link the tutorial for these swatch dolls. And, I love it when YouTubers and artists on YouTube just so graciously give tutorials, for people like me who really have no drawing ability. So he makes it really easy to follow, and they are super cute and super fun, even though she just has these little like nubby things for arms, but oh well. Yeah, so he has a lot of good ideas. So check him out for these little cute little swatch girls. Okay, so what else? I probably shouldn't have just thrown her aside. I don't want to ruin her crown, Don't want to dent her crown. So I'll put her up there. Okay. What else? What else have I been working on? Nothing much. Excuse me, there's Fred. He's got to say hello. Anywho, so yeah, in my books, I'm back to working on my Colorful Hot Mess pages, which I thoroughly enjoy. But like I said, they do take a lot of time, so I'm well behind usually on a lot of them. So I'm going to kind of just chit chat with you while I decide what I am doing on this page. So on this day here, my son, he came down with a cold, so he was sick. He did go to school, but he didn't go to work that day. And then chore of the day, like I was going to attempt to do a chore of the day. I mean, if that's not the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life. But yeah, so I decided to do a chore for the day, and that day I was just going to dust my bookshelf, right? Well, it was like the book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. It was like, if you give Elizabeth a dust rag, Holy cow. I mean, not only did I dust the bookshelf, but then of course I'm looking on the bookshelf and I'm seeing things that need to be purged, books that we don't need anymore. So then I moved from I stopped the dusting and moved to purging. And then I think to myself, oh, you've got a lot of books on your dresser in your bedroom that probably need to be purged too. So I left the bookshelf and went into my bedroom and cleaned off my entire dresser, which was a huge feat because the dresser itself, I don't even know, it might be like at least 6 feet long, I think. And, it has various things on it, but I did have like a stack of like these boxes of like the jewelry boxes that my husband gives me with jewelry in them. But, really, do I need the boxes? No. So I had boxes, I had books, I had all kinds of crap on my dresser. So, and it of course needed to be dusted too. So I purged all that stuff, either got rid of it or, put it, in another area, and when I say I put it in another area, that's not to clutter up another area. That is just, I had some baskets that were empty that I could store some stuff in, and so I did that. Yeah, so we've been on a little bit of a purging kick, and on this day here on Sunday, my husband, we had gone down to the Keys for the weekend, and we went to one of the stores we go to, and he found 2 pair of jeans. No, not jeans. 2 pair of pants for work. And let me try to work while I talk. Oh, okay. I'm going to use my Posca markers to do these outlines. Figure out what colors I want to use. So anyhow, yeah, so sorry for my reach. So he went and got, some new pants for work. And so I know this is going to sound weird because, we're weird. But when he got home on Sunday, okay, work and talk, Elizabeth, work and talk. When we got home Sunday, he went to his closet and he was going to hang up his new pants. well, yeah, I have to wash them. I had to wash them first. But anyway, he was going to hang up his new pants. Well, when he got up into the closet, or, when he went to the closet, he didn't see any hangers. And that only means one thing in our house. We have a set number of hangers. I guess other people, like, I don't know how to explain this, So he went in to go hang his new pants, and there were no hangers available. They were all taken up. That means only one thing in this family, in this household. You need to get rid of something, okay? We don't add more hangers. We keep the same amount of hangers. So if you go in there with something new and there's no place to hang them, you need to get rid of something to free up, some hangers in order to hang your new stuff. So that's what he did. Well, instead of just getting rid of 2 pair of pants, he, went a little crazy and just started chucking a whole bunch of clothes, which is fine by me, I mean, if you're not using something, or if it doesn't fit you anymore, get rid of it. There's no reason to keep it around. So, anywho, yeah. I know, like, a lot of people are into this whole purging thing and getting rid of this and getting rid of that. In all honesty, in our house, we're pretty good about purging. When the kids were little, excuse me again, I'm sorry. When the kids were little, I would go in with them into their rooms, and we would purge their rooms twice a year, once around their birthday and once around Christmas time, because, I always figured Christmas is coming, you're going to get new items, perhaps new clothes, new toys, whatever, and you're going to need a spot to put them in. So we would always go through their toys and their books and their clothes and everything, and we'd do a really huge haul to Goodwill to make room for the new stuff. And we did the same thing around their birthdays as well, because they'd have like little birthday parties and we, I would go into their rooms again and I'd say, okay, your birthday's coming up, you might get, new items. And so we need to clean this stuff out so that you have room, to put the new items. So we're pretty good about that. Like, the only room in my house, in all honesty, I mean, aside from my kids' rooms, but, they're their rooms and they're adults, so they can keep them however they want to. All I have to do is close the door so I don't see it. But, yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, the only room in my house that is a, disaster area, or relatively speaking, I like to call it organized chaos personally, is my craft room. Because, yeah, I just have a lot of stuff and I work on a lot of different projects, I mean, not only do I work on my Fobonichi, if you've been on my channel at all or you're on my, Facebook, I work on a lot of different things, I mean, I make junk journals occasionally. I sew, making quilts and things occasionally. I've just picked up crocheting. Oh, let me show you because it's right here. Oops, there went my needle. Here is my my blanket. I'm not done. This is like the never-ending blanket, okay? But I don't even know if it's all like fitting into the camera. Let's see. Yeah. So I think the last time you saw it, I was around here or something. So I've done all of this. And yeah, crocheting takes quite a lot of time. But I have been able to sit and watch TV with my husband in the evenings, and I get about 3 rows complete. So maybe I'll have it ready by next winter. We'll see. Anyway, I'm really enjoying that. But back to the different crafts. Yeah, sometimes I play around, like making a swatch doll, or, I play around with watercolors, or I play around with, mixed media stuff, or I do, I just do a lot of little things. I do a lot of one-offs. If something strikes my fancy, like this Swatch doll from James Burke, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to try that. I would love to make a whole book of those pretty little gals. We'll see if it ever gets done. I don't know. Yeah, so I do a lot of different things. So, that's why my room is a big hot mess because I work on a lot of different things that require different materials, for each project, hobby, craft, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, that's the only room in my house. Like in our kitchen, my husband is very much a firm believer of everything has a place and everything must be in its place. And, after being with him for 30 years, yeah, I'm the same way, so it's perfect. It works out perfectly. We don't have like these catch-all places or like hot spots, which I think, who is it? The Fly Lady calls those hot spots. We just don't have that. Oh, and by the way, I'll probably mention this website or this YouTube channel. Oh, Criminy Jane. No, I will have to mention it at my next shout out. Because now I can't. A Better Life with Cat. I think that's what it's called. A Better Life with Cat. And I just started watching it, and she used to do like the Fly Lady stuff. If you're at all familiar with that, it's like cleaning routines and all that kind of stuff. Organizing, decluttering, whatever. I've started watching her YouTube videos because they're very soothing. She's a very soothing voice. She's always very positive, very smiley, very sweet spirited. And yeah, I really like them. She does like live streams and all kinds of other things like that. And I don't do the Fly Lady thing just because, in all honesty, we don't have clutter. We just don't. It's like, like let's say somebody would have like a hot spot in their kitchen with like a stack of bills, Well, I mean, my husband, when he comes in the morning or in the afternoon, he sets his briefcase down. He goes directly to the bar where I have gone through the mail already and thrown out all the junk. And I have all of the important information and letters and mail right there at the edge of the bar. And he also keeps a calendar there. It's really mainly for his health issues. But anyway, that's where he keeps that. So as soon as he walks in, he goes through it and he puts it in the piles that he needs. Like, okay, here's the pay bill pile. I need to do that this weekend. Here is the pile for insurance papers, whatever that needs to be filed away. So he takes it right then and files it away. Call us crazy, but we do it right when it, arrives. So we just don't have, really a problem, I guess, with that. I don't know. Anyway, that was just a really long, silly story about our purging. Because like I said, like I tried on this day, all I wanted to do was dust the flipping bookshelf. And it turned into like this whole affair of, purging and getting rid of books and doing all this other stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, just stick to one thing. And yeah, I had wanted to do like a chore a day kind of thing. And yeah, you'll see in like 2 days of my book right now that there are no more chores of the day. Oh my gosh. I'm so inconsistent, Like, I'm the type of person, if I see that it needs to be cleaned up, I clean it up. But like I said, our house is not messy, It needs to be cleaned, don't get me wrong, like it needs to be vacuumed and mopped and dusted and all that kind of stuff. And those are the types of chores that I need to do. But like, I always try to make it a habit of cleaning and straightening up my living room, in the evenings after we're done watching TV and whatever, we're heading off to bed. I put everything away. You know, if my husband happened to be using the heating pad on the couch, I roll that up and I put it away before I go to bed. I straighten up all the cushions at the end of the evening. I fold the throw and hang it over the edge of the couch. I fix the other couch. I, make sure that everything's put away. And one of the reasons I do that is not only because who doesn't want to come out to a clean living room when they wake up in the morning, but that's the first thing that my husband sees when he comes out, of the room and comes down the hallway is the living room. So I try. I'm not going to say that it happens every single night, but more nights than not, it does happen. And I clean everything up before I go to bed. Normally all the dishes are cleaned. The counters have been wiped down, all that kind of stuff. So, and, I guess that's the thing. Like, if you do it on a regular basis, then things don't get crazy, they don't get all crazy, and then you don't have to go through and do all that decluttering, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, the back of my truck now is just filled with bags and boxes to take to Goodwill. So that feels good. I haven't really done much on this page while I've been talking to you. Let's see what else. I don't know. Nothing much else has been going on here that I know of that I can share. Yeah, just kind of hanging out today, catching up on my pages because I've been doing a lot of other things and, doctor's appointments and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. So we're doing that. And we went down to the Keys finally this past weekend, which was super nice. We hadn't been down there in like 5 weeks. My husband had been working 80 to 90 hours a week for about 5 weeks straight. So we were very glad that we were finally able to take a break and go down south and have some fun with that. If you're wondering what I'm using, well, I told you I'm using Posca. Right at the moment, I'm using flares, Papermate flares, but to outline. But I use my Poscas to outline. I like outlining my clip art. I like outlining my little clouds. Or whatever these are called. I do like doing these cloud things to kind of denote the different sections. I just think it's a fun way of doing it, And yeah, so I like that. And then I outline those outlines in a flare pen. Yeah, that's what takes so long. I have since stopped, with exception to the titles, just because I want to make sure I have enough room for what I want to write. But I have since stopped doing my writing in pencil first. So that does save a lot of time, One of the gals on the group was like, why don't you just write, with your pen instead of using your pencil? And a lot of times it was because like my hands are shaky or I want to make sure it's going to fit and all that kind of stuff. But since I had done that in my November book, just plain writing, I just sat down and wrote about it without really thinking about it. And it worked out fine. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing here as well now, is I'm just penciling in if I have like a title, I'll pencil that in. And then, there's a wrinkle. And then, then I'll just outline it. So, and sometimes I outline it not very well, but that's life, Anywho, so yeah, that's what I've been up to lately. Having fun, doing a bunch of projects, doing a bunch of different stuff, and, wanting to do more stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this ramble session. I know I didn't get much of this page you know, decorated, I guess. You'll see the finished page in a flip through. I did have one of y'all, a viewer request, and I do get requests for this quite often, to do this type of video where I'm decorating the page in front of the camera. I do not often do that because these pages take me, like, could take me up to an hour to complete one page. You know, by the time I get the clip art, by the time I figure out where it's going to go, by the time I do all of this stuff, you know, the what's this called? Like the decorating kind of thing, and then writing and then coloring and all that, you know, it takes me an hour, and I don't do speed throughs. I don't know how to do them because that would require editing, and I do not edit. I don't know how to edit, not going to learn how to edit, don't want to learn how to edit. So it is a little more difficult to do pages like this, you know, in front of you guys, because they do take quite a long time to do. So, oh, that's not very dark over here because I have a piece of clear tape. Here's another thing too. I mean, I've seen it on a lot of other people in their journals, but you know, a lot of times this is a tip-in. And so a lot of times, you know, you would put washi here. Well, on the other side of the page, I wanted to tip this in after my page was already done. And so I had written here. So if I were to have put a piece of colored washi on here and then tried to put a piece of colored washi on here to make sure that it stays in the book, I would have covered up the words that I wrote. So all I simply do is use a piece of clear tape, you know, a clear, one of these, a clear, and there's a nasty hair on it. A clear, you know, one of these. What is that? Scotch tape. Yep. So yeah. And so that way you're not covering anything up, you know. So there's a little tidbit tip for you. I've seen a lot of people do it, and, you know, at first I always thought, well, that's silly. Why would you know, when we have boxes and boxes of washi. I mean, come on, let's face it, ladies. Why would you want to use just plain, you know, Scotch tape? Well, that's why. So, in case you want to add something in and it's going to have to go over top of something you've already done that you don't want to cover up with patterned washi tape, just use a piece of Scotch tape and it works a charm. All right, well, I got to figure out what chore I'm going to do for today, if it even comes to that, because I'm fairly certain I'll be in my room most of the day trying to catch up on my Fobonichi. So I hope y'all are doing really, really well, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Oops, see, that's lighter because it's on the tape. And my voice just cracked. Sorry. Fred. Maybe Fred's hitting puberty. Anyway, so yeah, I hope y'all have a fabulous day. Sorry if this was too long. And I will catch you next time on the next video. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me. Yeah, and I'll catch you later. Bye.